EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich here with your outlook for February 5th, 2020. For your Wednesday, a frontal boundary came through overnight last night. It was the same boundary that we had off to the north yesterday, kept us in the warm temperatures, which are well into the 50s once again, and some places near 60. That has now moved south of the region, and that came through overnight. So by it being south of the region, it's actually sitting right about here, and there's the warm front associated with this area low pressure over Mississippi. Later this afternoon. So with it being off to our south and high pressure building in off to the north, not very strong though. It's a weak high pressure, but enough that it will create a cold air damming situation initially. So when we have precipitation coming in tonight, we will have some frozen precipitation to contend with before we change over to rain. And this boundary lifts off to the north. We will have this come in this evening. For the most part, looks like generally mid to late evening, it kind of spreads northward through our region. And it should be cold enough initially to get some, at least in the interior, to get some sleet and then freezing rain out of it. And then it's going to change over to plain rain from southwest to northeast during the course of the night. And as we move this forward, we can see that as we go into the evening hours. Now, the day today is just cloudy, so we're not dealing with any precipitation during the day. I can't roll out an absolute stray, quick shower or something, but it's not going to be anything of note today. Just cloudy throughout the day. And then this sleet, freezing rain, initially sleet, which is shown here in the orange, and then the freezing rain behind it, that will move off to the north and east. And by the time we get to Thursday morning, the only place that's going to be left over is the far northeastern corner of Pennsylvania and far northwestern New Jersey, where it's still frozen precipitation at that time, which is freezing rain. Elsewhere further south, we think it's going to change over to plain rain, and then we're going to get a little bit of a break in the action in the afternoon where we don't see anything but just clouds. Okay, so no precipitation expected in the afternoon, but then once we get into the evening hours, especially late evening and overnight on Thursday, we have a wave of low pressure that's going to move along that boundary. And there's going to be some pretty good rainfall amounts here, especially for southeastern areas. And there could be a pretty good soaking rainfall into Friday morning at least. Might go into early afternoon before the cold front finally pushes through. And it may, across northeast PA, end as a few flakes. So we'll have to watch that because a few models are suggesting there might be a quick coating to an inch or two up in these areas. So they would just be limited to those areas only as before the system pulls away. And then it does so for the remainder of Friday, where we have decreasing clouds later in the day. Here is, at night, it will be decreasing clouds, not later in the day. Here's a look at the NAM high-res future simulated radar, and I'm starting this off here at 8 p.m. So you can see it's right near the Pennsylvania-Maryland border. Already raining here in southern Delaware and southern New Jersey. And by the way, you can look at our estimations for sleet, sleet, freezing, there is no snow, sleet, freezing rain, and rain across the region, the totals for each. The rain map actually is total cumulative precipitation through Friday when that system finally completely clears, either late Friday morning or early afternoon. So the rain map is going to be a cumulative total through the period from this evening all the way through Friday. And that's going to include any frozen precipitation because it's going to melt. So that's part of that as well. But the sleet and freezing rain will just be overnight tonight. So here's a look at 8 p.m. And as you move this forward, you can see at the onset, by the time we get to, this is 11 p.m., you can see some sleet making its way all the way up to northeast PA. This purple in the middle here is freezing rain. And then this is just rain further south. So when you get close to the Philadelphia metro, you're probably not going to see anything but rain there. Same thing with most of central and southern New Jersey. Northern New Jersey could start off as some sleet and then some freezing rain, and I might hold on to it a little bit longer up here in places like Sussex and farther northern parts of Warren County. Places that are usually colder and higher elevation could get into that, stay longer. Same thing with northeast PA, especially in the Poconos. It's going to hold, the freezing rain is going to hold on into tomorrow morning from the higher elevations of Schuylkill, Carbon, Monroe, Pike, Luzerne, Lackawanna, Wayne, places like that are higher elevations are going to hold on to this a little bit longer into the morning hours. But we go through through time here. Here's a look at now 1 a.m. You can see a broad area of freezing rain still in our central areas along I-78 from Harrisburg to the Lehigh Valley. Further north, it is still sleet. And as we go through time through the night, still holding on to freezing rain pretty long here. This is now 5 a.m. South of 78 is starting to change over. Let me get back to that image. South of 78, along and south of 78 is starting to change over to rain, but north of there we're still getting, especially up by I-80, still getting into the freezing rain, and that continues into early morning. Here is 7 a.m. So if there's any Superintendents looking to cancel school or delay school. You're certainly looking at least delays up in these areas. I don't know about canceling because it is going to warm up there sufficiently, and this is not going to go all morning. Okay, you're going to have this end during the course of the morning here, and then we go into the afternoon. I would be surprised to see some of these areas up here, higher elevations, closed, but there could be some school delays in our central and northern areas as a result of this rain. Even when the temperatures go above freezing, it's not going to just disappear like poof, like a light switch goes off. Whatever is on the ground is going to stick there for a little bit until we get several degrees above freezing. And then again, by early afternoon, we get this lull in the action, and then we have more rain coming in overnight, and this could be heavy at times, especially for our south and eastern areas, and that will go into the day on Friday, mainly morning, but may linger into early afternoon in some spots before we finally clear that out. So that's our system. Again, the weather alerts page has a breakdown for sleet, total sleet accumulation, total ice expected, ice accrual from freezing rain, which is a separate category from sleet, of course, and a total rainfall map. So you'll be able to take a look at that, see our discussion. Our timing is on there as well. That is not, I just broke it down in the video for you, but that's in there as well. As far as any impacts are concerned, those are also listed in the timing section. So after the system moves, we're going to move ahead and get colder this weekend. So Saturday and Sunday are going to be slightly cooler than average, or actually kind of close to average. Okay, maybe very slightly below further north. This next little system is interesting. This has been modeled for several days. High pressure off to the north, very weak wave. Nothing too impressive, but it continues to show this wave moving into our area overnight Saturday night into Sunday morning. Not producing a lot of snow, but this is definitely accumulating snow. And a little rain snow issues down here for the far southern areas, maybe Delaware, southern New Jersey, but it continues to show some accumulating snow. It's not a lot. You're probably only talking about an inch or two, maybe 3. The GFS, I think, was the high here with this particular one, with some areas getting 4. That would be probably the upside of it, because there's nothing really showing this really getting going and developing. It's just a matter of how far north does this get. The European model was not quite this far north with it. So we'll see. We'll narrow that down in with the next couple of days. On weather alerts, this is not included right now, because this is still an uncertainty. This could just fizzle into absolutely nothing. So I'd say your range right now, realistically, 0 to 4 inches, anywhere in that range here, Saturday night into early Sunday morning. And then the system pulls away, clouds give way to sun here on Sunday afternoon, and then we start to warm up again on Monday and Tuesday. Monday we'll call it partly to mostly cloudy with the system off to our north. They got another system coming in here for Monday night. That's going to bring some showers here Monday night and Tuesday. Just some scattered showers in the vicinity, but it is looking like it's going to be too warm for any frozen precipitation at the moment. We'll continue, of course, to follow that. Whenever you have this gradient that's nearby, there's a temperature gradient that's really close. So if it just happens to be a little bit further to the south, that can mean the difference of rain or snow, or the same thing the other way. It works both ways. If it's a little further north, you obviously are locked into the rain as opposed to snow. So this gradient is going to be with us for a considerable amount of time, probably going right into at least the next 10 days after this. So wherever this gradient sets up will determine rain or snow systems. We're going to have plenty of opportunities for systems coming in. It's just a matter of where is this gradient and where at the time these come in, and it only takes one to be in the right place with a bigger storm, and you can get something big. So it's not off the table yet. Not likely, but not off the table yet. We still have to watch those. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchers. That is your outlook for February 5th, 2020.